Hey guys, welcome to Iron Review. This is a brand new format that we're trialing here, kind of more along the lines of a podcast format. It's just not just my boring self that you need to hear today. We have got a special guest on today, and we're going to discuss a few different topics. Obviously, if you like the content, give us a like. If you want to see more, give us a subscribe as well. We've got plenty of other videos on there. Instagram, Facebook, all the links are there. Today we have Daryl from Damage Reviews. Give us a big shout out. How you doing? You alright?
How are we doing? Thanks for having me.
Not
Great to be here.
As usual. Excellent. So you're with Damage Reviews, right?
Yeah, well,
on Instagram.
yes.
So tell us a bit about that.
Damage Reviews started out probably 3-4 years ago. Just sitting one night and just listening to music, and you're just comparing it to what you listened to before, and then just thinking, this is what's better, this is what's worse. And I just realised that why don't other people might want to hear this? They might want to hear what we have to say, and we hope to grow from that and keep talking about it. And we're still here ever since.
It's good. It's quite a popular channel because it's got quite a few followers as well, which is good. The Scottish sort of Instagram metal scene isn't as big as it once was, or has ever been big.
No, it's not. Because me and you actually do share quite a few followers.
Yes, probably all 100 of them or 40 of them or whatever it is. Okay, great. So we're going to talk about a couple of different topics today, but we're going to discuss festivals because it's been such a great year for festivals so far. 2020,
fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's the disappointment of the century. I think 2020 to have such great lineups for festivals and such great lineups for gigs. For it just to fall apart, because I remember we were lucky enough to catch Testament and
Death Angel and Exodus, the Bass Strikes Back tour in the Barrowlands.
Yep, we were lucky enough to catch that, but we've not been lucky enough to catch Lamb of God, Creator, Power Trip.
No.
The Download lineup this year was incredible.
So was the Bloodstock lineup.
Yep, and now they're kind of lackluster a little bit. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and speculate on what we think might come up at some point, but who knows? I think we're kind of. I mean, what do you think about? Well, let's talk about Download first of all, because that's the big one. What do you think about Download 2021? What do we think's coming? What do we think is going to come back?
Well, the thing is, they've actually not announced a thing about any bands that are coming back. When you take Bloodstock, for example, who said that so many bands are rolling over to next year, they're still going to be there. Download, it almost looks like they've wiped the slate clean. But the thing is, though, with Download, you know that head booker Andy Coppins already had at least one or two headliners booked a year in advance. That's definitely what's happened. That's why most of the guys are not coming back, probably, because they've got a list already there.
Yeah, I think the thing to think about that, though, Bloodstock and Download are, in terms of size, are really, really different.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Bloodstock's tiny compared to Download, and although Bloodstock get amazing headlines and lineups, it's difficult to compare.
Yeah, it is. It's when you look at, for talking's sake, you have Lamb of God, who have headlined Bloodstock, but just that year there at Download were only second or third last on the main stage. Or you have Partly Drive or Slayer, who have headlined the second stage at Download, but actually headlined the main stage at Bloodstock. It just shows you the difference in size and magnitude of it all.
I think Judas Priest are probably the biggest band they've had.
You probably could say that, yeah.
Yeah. I was quite excited to see them. I mean, I've never been to Bloodstock personally, but I've never actually seen Judas Priest either, even though they're one of my favourite bands.
Well, I caught them at Download a few years ago now, and the thing was, they weren't as high up on the main stage as I thought they would have been. Could they headline the second stage? Yes, they could have, but because of who they are, Metal Royalty, no one would have put them there. They would never have not put them on the main stage for everyone to see.
You say that, Slayer though, Metal Royalty, and
Slayer aren't British.
That's probably true, but I think considering it was their last show, and
but they also staggered times.
Yeah,
to make sure everyone could go see them, because that night it was Tool who were on.
Yep.
And Tool hadn't played for so many years.
No.
Slayer were at Download 2 or 3 years beforehand. Obviously, it was a last tour, and don't get me wrong, it was definitely busier than it was a couple of years before that. But because no one has seen Tool and they were about to bring out Fear Inoculum, everyone just went, let's go see Tool. Yeah. I wasn't one of those. I went and saw Slayer.
I went to see Slayer. I think I caught Tool on the way out.
Yeah, I think we were the same. But obviously, due to it being Tool, you couldn't actually see anything of the band because they weren't actually portrayed on the big screens.
Yeah, that's true. But they don't like that. They like to do the whole visual thing.
The thing about that is they also said that they don't believe in streaming, and obviously they've only just went active on Spotify.
Yeah.
But you can find all of Maynard James Keenan's other band, The Perfect Circle. All of their works is already on Spotify.
I don't see. I did read that, but I also heard Keenan when he was on, was it Joe Rogan or something, when he was talking about how he didn't actually do any streaming stuff because he was trying to catch up with the times. I think there's more to it than that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't know. But anyway, it's very much more likely that Tool is going to be playing Download in the next decade than Slayer ever coming back. So,
yeah, well, this obviously is going to be talked about later on, I do believe.
Yeah.
But Motley Crue literally signed a contract. They said they could never tour again, and all of a sudden they done a video where they literally blew the contract to pieces.
Well, they were meant to tour with Def Leppard.
Well, they are touring, but
Yeah.
they were quite. They done the big tour. They done their farewell, but then they said the contract said they'd never tour again.
Yeah.
But they didn't say anything about them playing the Luxor in Las Vegas for a year. And then when that was done, and all of a sudden the contract that said they can't tour per se was literally blown up.
But that's these Vegas contracts. They're just like a bit of a gimmick, aren't they? Like,
yeah, I mean,
but it's just to get people in. Like you can't see these guys anywhere else.
Yeah, it's like Kiss. They're on their second or third farewell tour. Ozzy Osbourne, up until he got sick, was literally doing no more tours. 2.
Yeah. And no more tours. 3 is probably likely to happen, but do you know what? Ozzy, like, give the man his due. Doesn't need any. He doesn't need to prove anything else. Like, I love the guy. I've seen him twice. I would go see him again. Obviously, I would, but he doesn't have to do it. Like, I don't see him. Well, I don't see this No More Tours 2 happening.
No, it's been delayed. The Glasgow date's been delayed at least twice, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, it's still apparently scheduled in for October, but that's not going to happen.
October?
Yeah. It's apparently, this was the latest. It's still scheduled for October. I was talking to my mate about it, and he was saying the tickets or something like that. They were saying October's the kind of predicted date, but with this being like Judas Priest, because they're supporting Ozzy, and this is their 50-year tour, but also nothing's happening because nothing can happen because of COVID. Is it likely to go ahead? Probably not.
No, I don't believe it.
I think it's more likely that it's going to be cancelled.
Yeah.
But Download next year, as far as we're aware, concerts may return to normal by June 2021. Touch wood.
Hopefully. Hopefully beforehand we can get some concerts before we actually go to the festival.
That's true. Now, I know that they were saying they were trying to get as many bands from this year to come back, but I know for a fact that Iron Maiden have came out and said, no way is that happening. They said Iron Maiden said they're going to do every single gig that they can do from 2020 in 2021, but they can't promise festivals. So they said we won't be doing Belfast. I think Belfast was one of the other UK ones.
Yeah.
And Download says it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were scheduled for any European ones like Grasspop or anything like that. Or...
I don't think they were down for Grasspop. I don't believe so, but I'd have to double check that. So it's just a matter.
So I know that Iron Maiden are definitely out. Kiss. It was meant to be Kiss's last Download.
Yeah.
They said that quite a few times. This is the last time we're going to go to Donington. This is the last time we're going to play. Probably the last time they're going to do a UK thing.
Yeah.
Because they've already said that I think they've made a definitive announcement. Don't quote me on this, but Brooklyn or something like that in 2021 or 2022 is going to be their last ever gig.
But the issue with that is, will it be though? Because everything is literally being pushed back a year. So will they push it all back?
Well, this is it.
And just go from there. No, it's that thing when they said it's going to be the last time in Donington. Some bands do tours where they say, like, this is our last time playing here. I mean, not on the exact same magnitude, but I went and saw Bowling for Soup and they said this is our last ever UK tour. They didn't say we're going to stop playing, said it was our last ever UK tour. And then, funnily enough, I was at Download and on the big screen was an ad saying that let's have another round tour, and it was Bowling for Soup saying they were coming back to the UK.
Right, so they do have a lot of mints. Although, like, with Slayer, though, for some reason I genuinely believed it.
This is a bad thing to say. I believed when Tom Araya said it, but when Kerry King have said it, I was like, no.
I think Kerry King will do his own thing though.
Oh yeah, definitely will.
Yeah.
The thing with Tom is he's getting older. He can't even. His neck's in that bad condition. He can't headbang or anything like that anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of disappeared altogether, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Which is what he wanted.
Yeah, and of course Gary Holt's back with Exodus, which we're all quite happy to see. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, I love Gary Holt with Slayer. He did a really good job, but I think he was always there to kind of just do the last leg of Slayer's existence.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't replace Jeff. Don't we?
No, definitely can't.
But I thought Gary Holt did a really stand-up job, and I love Gary Holt and I love Exodus.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think they could have picked someone else better to fill.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think it would have been really weird if they pulled someone out of the Big Four, like someone from Anthrax or like Megadeth or something like that.
Yeah, but who would have done it? Who could you picture like stepping
No idea.
in?
No idea. I think I'm forgetting his name. Is it Skolnick from Testament?
Yeah.
Might have done a good job, but I don't know.
Yeah, but for all we know, Dave Mustaine might have turned around and went, I don't like that, you're not in my band anymore.
Yeah. Good old Dave. We love him, but we love Dave, but he's got his problems.
He's a complex individual.
Yeah, he sure is. Damn right. What about System of a Down? They were Sunday night headliners. What do we think about that?
Well, the thing is, I saw System of a Down a couple of years ago at Download, and they weren't up to much, like, at all. I do believe that Serge's voice wasn't up to par at that point. I don't know if it was a recurring problem or it was just a one-off. But same again, I can't see them coming back because they play a lot of European festivals. They play like Rock am Ring and stuff like that. They play Grass Pop. So I really don't see them coming back either. No, I think it's going to be an entirely new trio to headline.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think we'll come back to speculating on who we think is going to headline Download 2021. We have some bad news, but we'll get to that. Killswitch Engage, maybe. I've got more hope than... I've got more hope that they'll come back than anyone else.
I'd really like it. The band are notorious for touring, and I do believe that I'd love them to come back. They're one of my favourite bands, and I think it'd be great to see them again. They've got a great pull. They're a really well-known band. They continue to put out great content.
Yeah, I think the same about Korn as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Korn are less likely, but I think it's been a while since they played Download. And I think this was 2015? Was that right?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Or 2016. I can't quite remember, but I know that it has been a wee while since they've done it, and I think a lot of my friends anyway, they were going because Korn was going.
Yeah, well, I actually saw Korn and Download in 2013, and they were actually great that year. That was not long after they put out that album full of dubstep artists, and it still went down quite well, actually.
Alright, well that's good. I quite like their... I've not actually listened to their most recent one, but the one before it. What was the song that I really liked that was on it?
So Rotten in Vain?
Rotten in Vain, yeah. The one with the video was in the attic and the guy's like inoculating and stuff like that. Yeah, I really liked that. I'm not a massive Korn fan, but I thought that album was pretty good because Corey Taylor does a track on that as well.
Another Level?
I think so.
A Whole New Level, something like that.
Yeah. Now, Deftones, I know that you're not a massive fan.
I'm not a
big fan of them either, but considering they're on this cover of Metal Hammer this month, potentially.
Right, well that's the thing.
A returning one?
I can see them returning, but where can you see them playing? Because...
Well, still, what were they, second stage?
I don't see them being second stage now. I see them being on the main stage, and I see them being quite high up the bill. I do, definitely. I see them being main support quite easily, the way they're going now.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure it's like, if that's correct, it's the anniversary of the White Pony album.
Well, it's 20 years. Yeah, because it's I think Metal Hammer doing a 2000 special, because they talk about Maiden and they talk about who else is it? Limp Bizkit stuff and Manson. So the new metal sort of craze.
Yeah.
Or the sort of tail end of the new metal craze. I think most of the other ones are more likely, so like Motionless in White, Offspring, probably. But I think Offspring, were they going to be in the UK anyway? Were they touring? I don't know much about Offspring, but I think they might.
I'm pretty sure they were meant to be on a UK tour, yeah. But Offspring actually have headlined Download before. It was many years ago, but they actually headlined it. Because they're one of the few bands that came back to not headline it.
Right, much like our friends Enter Shikari, who...
Well, Faith No More headlined the main stage.
Right.
And then came back and didn't headline the main stage. Enter Shikari headlined the second stage, then came back to headline the third stage.
There you go. It's just insane. Like I just think like it just really blew my mind when Enter Shikari for one of them because they. What was it, the second stage?
Yeah.
You were saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now then last year they were playing a 10.
Yeah.
But then what? We haven't heard from them in like a good decade anyway, like a good 9 years.
In my opinion, they're still putting out music, but it's not gravitating towards metal scene now. I know they are quite political and that's their standpoint, but what they're putting out doesn't appeal, I believe.
Masses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Alright.
But you get bands that are like putting out political stuff that are still pulling in, like Viva Free Free Free.
Oh yeah.
They've been putting out new stuff. They just put out a song at the start of June there called Supremacy, also a lot to do with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
But they played the Cat House, and then a couple months later they were booked in with SWG3.
Well, there you go.
Just that growth, just what they're putting out.
Because it was because Randy Bly was talking about them at Download.
Yeah.
Because he came on stage and he was talking about where he was trying to give like recommendations.
Yeah.
And he said like, if you don't go see Slayer, you're a joke. And it was like, yeah, I think that's fair enough. And I think if you're going to see Lamb of God and you didn't go to see Slayer, that's a bit questionable.
You know what's really funny?
Yeah.
You were seeing Lamb of God. Well, I guess where I was when that was happening.
Anthrax.
I was seeing Anthrax on the second stage.
And I can forgive that because there's a lot of thrash fans, but I'm not a massive Anthrax fan. I think that Testament bring a lot more to the table than Anthrax do, but I get that. I've got a lot of pals that are Anthrax fans. I'd go see them, of course I would, but that's just me.
I'm also a bigger Exodus fan than I'm a Testament fan.
Yeah, there you go. I do love a bit of Exodus. Love a bit of Testament. Love a bit of Slayer. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Viva Free Free Free. The lead singer's Jason Butler.
Right.
He was actually in a band for called Let Live, who I ended up seeing, I want to say 2011, 2012. Would have been 2012. I saw him on the Kerrang tour. And it's quite funny when I look back because they were the second band on the bill that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went The Blackout, and then it went Newfound Glory. You know who the first band was on that night?
Who?
It was While She Sleeps.
Really?
They were the first band on that night, and now look at them.
Yeah, a lot bigger.
Yeah, huge now.
Taking leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like other ones that are on that list. Alter Bridge, maybe.
You're not long out their new album.
Gojira, possibly.
Yeah, definitely.
Mastodon, I don't know. It depends. They've been kind of ploughing out albums, and they've got some good ones in track. And I think they've been talking about writing a lot of material now. So
yeah, that's true.
Potentially doing something. Volbeat, I don't know. Volbeat are not too big for their boots, but they're a lot more sort of appealing to the mainstream kind of things. And I don't know if their Download cred is going to stick around. I mean, I think they're fantastic, but that they caused a bit of controversy with that was it the Belfast gig?
Yeah, I remember it well.
And I don't know, we'll see.
Well, the thing is, you're saying that they sold out Glasgow on that tour because I actually couldn't get tickets for it.
Mm-hmm. I remember 2018 when they did their warm up gig in the Barrowlands. Mm-hmm. Nobody could get in.
Yeah, well, I was at them because I actually saw them at the that weekend because that was when they brought Barney from Napalm Death out on stage to do Evelyn.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh,
they are. I mean, I will say this: Volbeat are a fantastic live act. I just like. I feel like when I've seen them in 2018, they were so low down the bill that they didn't get as much time, so they didn't play as many.
Well, you get that. It's just one of those things. Like,
do
you want to put them down on the main stage? So they're on the main stage. I want to see they've got less playing time, or do you want to put them higher up on the second stage?
I think they could have. They wouldn't get as big an audience, but they'd be able to play a 45-minute hour set or something like that, which might be better.
It's one of those things. Like we were talking about that how 2019, I believe it was, they had Ginger on the third stage, and you literally could not get in.
No, and I think the thing that really annoyed me about that, the 2019 Ginger thing, was that the rain came on just as Ginger were coming on. And people were queued up like mad to go see them anyway, but there's a lot of people there that were just getting in the tent to get away from the rain.
Yeah, some of us were out in the rain.
Yeah. I managed to get in the tent. I couldn't see anything. Yeah. I could hear it. But
it's one of those things like should they have put them on the second stage?
I think they should have been on the second stage lower down.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have maybe started the day or maybe, been about just after lunchtime or something like that. But I think I don't know.
But
I think the same with Power Trip. I don't think Power Trip should have been the main stage. I think they should have been the second stage.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The other thing was I saw Bad Wolves on the second stage,
Hmm.
and it was one of the busiest, easily.
Yeah.
And they're quite a big band. The cover of Zombie is everywhere. Like, you can't go anywhere without somebody saying, "Oh, I know Bad Wolves because they covered Zombie." I myself, I'm not the biggest fan. I like the song, but I actually like Tommy Vex. I like his stuff in his self-titled project. I liked him when he was in Snot, and then he done Westfield Massacre, and then he left Westfield Massacre to do Bad Wolves.
I still think Westfield Massacre is his best stuff.
Definitely. But obviously he's decided that he's rather being Bad Wolves. But the thing with that is Bad Wolves' manager is Zoltan from Five Finger Death Punch, and they are quite pally.
Okay.
So it's one of those things like...
Well, he came on stage. Was it during when we seen Five Finger?
Yes, it was.
2017?
It was him and Aaron Pauly from Of Mice and Men. They done Ain't My Last Dance with Ivan. But obviously, Tommy filled in for Ivan when he left.
Had a bit of a meltdown.
Yeah,
we were all a bit worried about that because it was like we knew that he was coming into Glasgow in December, and then
the thing was I wasn't that concerned because I'm quite a big fan of Tommy Vex, like I said.
Yeah.
So I wasn't bothered.
I know. I think because I had never seen them before, and it was like, oh, do I miss out on Ivan? Anyway, fantastic live act. The last one on Download 2020, Disturbed. I've never seen them, but I think they'd be fantastic live.
I've seen them twice. I've seen them on the Taste of Chaos tour.
Mm-hmm.
That was a crazy tour actually. Hailstorm were the first band on that bill.
Yeah.
And then it was Buck Cherry, then it was Papa Roach, and it was Disturbed all on the one night. This was back when it was SECC. And then I saw them with Avenged Sevenfold.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird thing, but in my head, I can't imagine Disturbed playing a festival. I don't know if it's the music they play or that, but I just can't see it transitioning to a festival. Don't know what it is.
I don't know. I think they do okay. I've seen a lot of footage of them playing festivals. I've seen them play Rock am Ring and stuff like that. And like with 10,000 Fists in the Air, and that's a good point to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
But I also think you were talking about Bad Wolves and their cover of Zombie, but also I think Disturbed kind of fall with that Sound of Silence cover.
Yes, they definitely do.
They kind of fall into that bracket.
Yeah.
That is a good cover, but it's definitely got a lot of attention. A lot of attention. Yeah,
that's the problem, because that was on... What album was that on again?
It's the most recent one, I think, isn't it?
No, it wasn't the most recent one. The most recent one was Evolution.
Oh, right.
It was the one before that.
So it was, yeah. I remember Evolution.
It was... Oh, I actually can't remember the name of it now. It was one that had The Light on it as well. I cannot remember the name of it.
I'll look it up.
Oh, it's Immortalised.
That's the one.
Immortalised.
Yep.
They done that. And obviously it was on that album, everyone's like it was great. But before that, they brought out The Sickness, they brought out 10,000 Fists. Mm-hmm. It's not like they hadn't brought out absolutely amazing things, but the issue I have with metal bands covering very well known songs is some people don't listen to them for the songs they create. Like, you just say to someone, "Oh, what about Disturbed?" and they go, "Oh, I love The Sound of Silence." Or you'll say to someone, "What about Bad Wolves?" and they go, "I love Zombie."
Yeah.
And you're like, this
isn't like anything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, my personal opinion is, I like the band for the content they create.
Yeah, that's true.
It's great to cover a song, but at the same time, you feel...
But do they cover songs to get that attention? I mean, I don't know. That's a subject for a whole video, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing with Bad Wolves was they actually had the lead singer of the Cranberries, Dolores Riordan. They had her to sing back vocals on the song, and also she tragically died. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're still doing it, but all proceeds made from that single went to her family, and they were trying to raise like $1 million for her. Yeah. So
that was really nice of them.
Yeah, and I don't think they profited off. Well, if it's still going that way, they can't really have profited off of that song. But has it got them like higher bookings, like higher billings? It definitely has.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay, so let's jump ship a little bit to the smaller metal festival in the UK, Bloodstock 2020. Vicky Hungerford, Bloodstock Babe on Instagram has confirmed 90% of the bands are returning. The poster is still up. They do not have a Sunday headliner, I think.
Yeah, they do. They have moved Judas Priest on the Saturday to the Sunday.
So Judas Priest on the Sunday.
So Judas Priest are closing the festival, which they should do anyway.
Yeah, that's good. But we have lost an she's officially confirmed that they've lost Behemoth. There's no way that they're coming back.
Which is a tragic loss, obviously.
Absolutely. We met Nergal in January when they came up with Slipknot, and we spoke to him and we said, "Oh, we'll see you at Bloodstock." That's not happening. So
sadly not.
I feel like I've let him down. So if he's listening, which he definitely is,
I love you.
we love you. Yes, absolutely. So that's a big bummer because that was a big draw for Bloodstock, was Behemoth.
Obviously, Love Drink the Darkest came out on the coattails of Satanist.
Yep.
2 amazing albums. They played Glasgow and headline. They played the Queen Margaret Union.
Yep.
And then obviously not long after that, they came back supporting Slipknot.
That was one of the best gigs I've ever been to.
Exactly. And of course, they were at Download a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And they
were there last year.
Yep. Yeah. They were. And they put on a great show. It was a really, really busy show. Even Nergal said that it was one of the biggest extreme metal gatherings he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was just a great time. You felt like the band are just getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden this roadblock's been thrown up with obviously this global pandemic.
I think they've got something planned. They must have something in the works because they talk about how they've got a lot of music that they're working on.
Well, they just released A Forest. That's also an EP. There's a couple of songs out on that.
Yeah, I've not had the chance to sit and listen to it, but I know
I haven't myself either.
I know that's quite fortunate we're speaking about bands that were covering well-known songs. I don't think The Cure, A Forest is quite as well-known as like the Cranberries, but you know, I thought it was an interesting cover. I thought it was, you know, I've got pals that are really into The Cure, and you're like, oh, listen to this extreme metal band cover it, and they're like, what is this? Like, it's such a strange take on it, but I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought the vocals of I don't know the other guy that's on it, didn't work as well.
Nah, I wasn't a big
fan.
Nergal
could have carried it on his own, but
it's funny you say about covers when you recently just posted about a cover of Pumped Up Kicks.
Yes, we spoke about Pumped Up Kicks from Three Teeth.
Three Teeth, yes.
It's a good cover.
Yeah, it's different, and I quite like it for that.
Yeah. So Devin Townsend's definitely coming back. Judas Priest are definitely coming back. Ginger are definitely coming back. Phil Anselmo's definitely coming back.
Bury Tomorrow.
Saxon, Skindred,
Sylosis,
Butcher Babies, Hatebreed, Black Dahlia Murder.
Hatebreed haven't confirmed.
Have they not confirmed?
No. The last I saw was Jamie Jasta posting saying that he hopes he could sort out and come back, unless he said since then that they've confirmed they're coming back.
They're still on the poster.
No, they must have.
Because I looked at the poster today and it says where the Behemoth spot was says not confirmed, but it still has Hatebreed.
Alright. Keep up a post not long ago.
Maybe they're just like in a grey area with it, I don't know. There might be a few bands, but according to Vicky Hungerford, they're 90%.
So at least one spot open for headliners.
Yes, so we can speculate about that, and we can also speculate about who we think is going to headline Download.
Well, we're talking about, obviously you're saying 90% have rolled over. Have you got 10% that you think might play?
What do you mean 10% from what?
So, like, we've got 90% of the band, so there's 10% left to be filled.
Yep.
Is there anyone that you think might play?
I'm trying to find... See, Bloodstock's quite difficult because I'm trying to find ones that aren't massive, but also are big enough to headline. So, for example, we're thinking about bands like Parkway Drive. We're thinking about Lamb of God.
It's hard to think of bands that might play a little bit lower down the bill. I can imagine maybe, I don't know if they're going to do it, Demons and Wizards, which is releasing a Blind Guardian side project. Yeah. They recently released their album. Blind Guardian have played, and to be honest, the scene per se is right up their street. I think they go down very, very well. They obviously they played Wacken not long ago as well, so I think they could do it. There's always talks of Power Trip, obviously.
Yeah, I think Power Trip could be quite high up
because they played 2018. I want to say.
Yeah,
so they could quite easily go back as well.
No, I'm quite happy with the Bloodstock lineup as it is. It's just that last headliner because that I think for a lot of people that could make or break.
Yeah, I do get that.
I think when I seen Bloodstock's lineup and I was like Devin Townsend, I'd go see him, but I'm not like running out the door to go and see him. Judas Priest 100% and Behemoth 100%.
Yeah.
But that was always the case with festivals. It's very rarely that they get all three of them 100% correct.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, so I think I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think that last slot's going to be for the headliner?
I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, I've got a few I think of off the top of my head. One band that I know you're quite a big fan of, Ghost.
Possibly.
Ghost done the last show in Mexico City when they had the anointment of Cardinal Clopin and Papanarakis IV.
Yep.
And they said they would not be back until 2021. So
I think now I have my theories about Ghost, and I know that they're a very polarising band because I think you either really like them or you really hate them.
yeah, well they've done it before. They headlined in 2017.
But I think, and you're maybe going to disagree with me on this, I think they're more tailored towards headlining Download than they are headlining Bloodstock.
I don't think they're there yet, but it's one of those things. All it takes is one album.
But you, I mean, I seen Ghost in 2017, right? Play the ABC in Glasgow, which is it's a big venue, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's not an arena. It's not massive. And then within the space of 2 years, they played the Hydro, which is our biggest concert venue. And you think,
yeah, but some bands do that. It doesn't work out well for them because you say that. I also saw Built My Valentine do that,
right? Okay.
and then all of a sudden they were relegated back to
That's true.
the ABC, which was a peculiar night because they were on with Killswitch and Built My Valentine were the headliner.
Yeah, I think it depends on what Ghost's plans are. I think if they're going to do album number 5, and it's going to drop next year, which I doubt it's going to drop next year. Then they will come out with that.
It could, if you think about it, because the last show was, it must be 4 or 5 months ago now. So if you're saying that, that's a year to track an album.
Yeah,
it's more than enough time. And I hate to say it, like we're all feeling the effects of this pandemic. It's not hard to sit in your house and start writing. I mean, even Guns N' Roses have come out and said that they've started writing new music in this pandemic.
That's true.
So
for those of you that are concerned, we are social distancing right now. We've got at least 2 meters between us.
Yeah, thank God.
We don't have a sneeze guard, but we're pretty healthy, so I doubt it's going to happen. But anyway,
yeah.
I think Ghost potentially. I think they're more akin to Download. Maybe not like headlining slot, but like just
yeah. Well, here's the next one then, because I know for a fact you weren't happy about this band's position at Download. Amon Amarth.
Oh, definitely, they should be higher up.
Yeah, they were not as high up at Download as they should have been.
No, definitely not.
But they actually did headline Bloodstock back in 2017, along with Ghost.
Yeah.
Berserker's not long out, and actually checked Download 2019 when they played. They were basically smack dab in the middle of the lineup.
Right.
They were like 3rd or 4th last on that day. They
should have been much higher up, or they should have been headlining the second stage.
Yeah, but the issue with that is Pyro. They've got a big stage show, which you can't really put on a second stage.
The Ghost have got a big stage show as well now.
Yeah, now.
I don't know. That's exciting though. Amon Amarth at Bloodstock would be good.
Could happen. Berserker. Next one I had, you obviously said you weren't too sure about, was Lamb of God.
It depends on what they're doing because they've had so many tours cancelled this year. They've had at least 2. They've had their State of Unrest tour, which was the UK Euro one, I think. And then they had their American tour, which is
the metal tour of the year.
Sounded too good to be true, but actually it turns out it is too good to be true because it's not went ahead. Megadeth, Trivium, Lamb of God, and Flames, which I would pay so much money to go see that gig, like ridiculous amount.
So Lamb of God, like you said, the last time they played Bloodstock was 2013, which they headlined.
Yep.
They were at Download in 2019 and recently brought out their self-titled album. If you really want, you can go back and listen to the review by Iron Reviews.
Yes, thank you. Do that now. It'll be in the description.
Perfect.
Yep. I don't know. I think Lamb of God are probably going to focus on North America next year, and it also depends about how much movement people can do.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Like, can we move between countries, especially considering America's death rate and UK's death rate for this virus? We're not exactly handling it the best.
Yeah, which brings me to my next one, actually. Sabaton.
Potentially, yeah, they headlined Bloodstock before, didn't they?
Played 2019, headlined Bloodstock, then went straight and headlined Wacken. But I was doing a little bit of research on them. They have their own festival, Sabaton Open Air.
Is that in Sweden?
Falls on the 7th of August, so it's the weekend before Bloodstock.
Could work.
Well, obviously saying could work, but it also means they'll have a set basically lined up and ready to go. Like they'll have it all rehearsed and hands down as well.
That's true. Did they not cover for Man of War? Was that a Bloodstock?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They played. Well, they technically played 2 nights in a row, but the second night, Joachim, the lead singer, barely sang.
Right.
He apparently, I've not watched the footage, but apparently he sat at a table on the stage and ate dinner with people and sang every now and again and drank.
But considering they played the night before, that would be worth it.
Yeah, and the fact that we're happy to step in and like pull the guys out of a hole per se.
That's true.
Next one, this is one of the ones I actually had for this year but didn't come true. Arch Enemy.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've heard from them.
Will to Power came out in 2017. The longest I went without putting out an album has been 3 years.
So we could maybe see something towards the tail end of this year.
Well, we were hoping that obviously till this kicked off, so we can maybe expect that. The thing is, they headlined the festival back in 2009. They've returned to play it a few times. The last time they returned, they were main support in Megadeth.
Right. I could see Arch Enemy more playing Bloodstock than I could see them playing Download.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
But I think Arch Enemy is some gig to go to, definitely.
Yeah. The last one I had was one that once again I thought was very, very highly rumoured for this year and thought it would have Merciful Fate. The band recently reunited, King Diamond obviously at the helm. They announced they were playing Copenhagen, and we all thought, right, they're definitely going to play Bloodstock this year. And then it turns out it was Behemoth. It's safe to say I wasn't upset, but I was quite surprised that they weren't really named on the bill. Yeah,
I think that was when Devin Townsend was announced. Everyone was like, oh.
So far, Merciful Fate have one date down for next year, and it is the week after Bloodstock, and it's in Las Vegas.
Ah, right, okay.
So it's just obviously we're saying dates line up, but obviously you need to think about scheduling after all that's happened this year, and then obviously bands that are bringing out new albums and that.
Yeah, that's true. So then back to Download. Sorry, I know we've jumped back and forth, but back to Download. Who do we see headlining next year?
The one that we say every year, Metallica.
Yeah, I think that's. Considering there's so many rumours right now about them releasing new music.
Yeah.
And that's been, 4 years since Hardwired?
It's not been 4 years, has it?
I think it's been 2016, I think Hardwired came out. I think so.
Yeah, well, it's the anniversary, like I said, of Master of Puppets. It's going to be the 35th year anniversary. So we might see the last time they played the Black Album in its entirety. So they might come back.
That's true.
And
I think it's also Puppets. Been 30 years since Black Album as well, because that's 91.
Yeah.
Potentially, but I don't know.
I know it's the most successful album to date, going by sales.
Yeah.
But what does appeal more to us would probably be Master of Puppets,
that's true.
In my opinion.
I mean, I went to see them last year, and I know it was the Hardwired tour, but I was really hoping for more Justice stuff because it was 30 years since Justice.
Yeah, I saw the set list and it was just basically the Hardwired album.
Yeah, which is not a bad album. It's just, I would have preferred I'm a big fan of their classic stuff pre-91, but that just is what it is. I'd still go see them. They're still. And anyone that's kind of on the fence with Metallica, like, you need to go and see them. They put on some live show.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
We'd all love the set list from Seattle 89, but it's not going to happen.
No. We'd all love James to grow his hair like it was, but it's not going to happen.
Jason Newsted comes out with his skullet.
Yes. Bring it back. Make it happen, James. We know you're listening.
Okay, the next one I had was Rammstein.
Yes. Okay, Rammstein. Yep.
Headlined back in 2016, since then came out with a self-titled album, obviously.
And it's a great album.
The issue with it is they've not long postponed their North American tour and the European stadium tours.
Yep. However, they do coincide. The UK ones do coincide with Download Weekend, I do believe. Is that right? There's not actually any clash with dates for Download, I don't think.
Nah, that I know of, but like we're saying, this all has to be renegotiated, obviously.
That's true. I went to see Rammstein last year, and I remember reading about it. It takes them 2 days to assemble that stage.
Yeah.
So, if there are any clashing dates, like if it's like a Friday night, like I know they're playing Coventry and something else, like if like the Friday night was Coventry, it might take them to the Sunday until they can come back, but I don't know. Who knows?
It just depends, really.
They're amazing. That's a good shout.
Next one I had was a band that I've played main support, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head. Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
The main reason I'm naming them is because Andy Coppin has said that he believes they are a future headliner.
Right.
They have recently released the 8th album, Fate.
Yep.
So
again, they've got a cover of a song.
What one? They've got a few.
They have got a few, but the one that sticks to mind is
Gone Away.
House of the Rising Sun.
They've done House of the Rising Sun, done Gone Away by the Offspring.
Yep.
They've done Blue on Black.
Mm-hmm.
They've done quite a few covers in their time.
They do. I mean, I think they're pretty good live.
Yeah.
They're more interactive than any band I've seen.
Yeah.
I think.
They definitely are. They put on it. They've got a big stage show now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you don't really see that in Scotland due to licensing laws when it comes to pyrotechnics.
Yes, that's why we'll never see Rammstein. That's why we'll never see Amon Amarth again.
We'll never see Parkway Drive again.
Oh, Scotland, get it fixed, man.
If you're listening, fix it.
Yes, Nicola Sturgeon, we know you're listening to this. Get it fixed.
So yeah, Andy Cobb himself has came out and said that he believes they are a future headliner. It's not a big stretch, to be honest. Now, like if they were to turn around and say that they're going to headline next year, would I be surprised? No.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I find is people always say we download, oh, we need new headliners, and then they name a new headliner, and people all of a sudden go, why are they headlining? And it's just a teething problem.
Okay, but I do think we need to address the elephant in the room, and this is, we've kind of built it up a little bit. We spoke about this a couple of days ago, and we're very frightened about this. If it happens, it happens. But we actually think this is probably the most likely one, and that is, I can't even say it, you say it.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh God, yeah. Mm-hmm. They've just released a new song. It has gained some amount of traction on Spotify.
Yeah.
We are not the biggest fans. We know that there are people out there that really love them. I really don't like the new song.
Yeah,
there are Bring Me the Horizon songs that I really like. I really like that Shadow Moses song.
Yeah.
I really like that. I've never seen them live, so I can't really comment, but I don't know. To me, it just doesn't feel right at all.
Last time they played Download Festival was in 2014.
Yeah.
They released a new album, I don't know if it's AMO or AMO, out last year.
Yep.
Parasite Eve just came out as just a response to all that's going on. The thing is, they have the pull, they do. They've got quite a big fan base now. I personally am not a fan, but same again.
It wouldn't be the weirdest choice for Download either, like last year.
Yes.
That's maybe a subject for another video, but like bands like The Antwoord.
Well, you say that the first year I went to Download, Prodigy were headlining the Friday night.
See, I do. That's weird because I kind of get Prodigy though.
No. Do you know who the main support was?
Who?
It was Chasing Status.
Oh God.
That's what I didn't understand.
I don't mind Chasing Status as musicians. I actually quite like a few of their songs, like Control and stuff like that. They've got quite and obviously Blind Faith. Like they've got some good songs. Are they within the metal bracket? 100% no chance. So I don't think that they are.
The thing is,
appropriate for that, but then we don't think The Antwoord are appropriate for it either.
The thing is, though, that weekend it went Chasing Status then Prodigy, so you can kind of see a kind of a similarity jump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the year of Die Antwoord, who was on after them?
Yes, Slipknot, arguably probably one of the best Download headliners they've had in the last 10 years.
Yeah. This was just before they released We Are Not Your Kind.
Yeah, that was an incredible performance.
Yeah, it was. And we just didn't understand it.
No, because the thing is, I was right up the front for Trivium.
Yes.
I think you were the same.
Yeah, I was a little bit further back, but yeah, I was there.
Right up the front for Trivium. Trivium were excellent. They were excellent. They played a lot of Sin in the Set and stuff. And then as soon as that finished, The Antwoord came on, and it was just such a juxtaposition. So weird. I
remember that day because it was such a crazy thing. So it opened up with Alien Weaponry.
Yep.
Which was great. Band are upcoming, doing amazing things, especially for being so young. Then was Royal Republic. A little bit different, but they knew they were different and they owned it and they deliberately made jokes about it. And then they actually did a quick cover of Battery, which was hilarious.
Yep.
Then it was Power Trip. Okay.
Excellent.
Then it was Behemoth.
That was amazing as well.
Then it was Skindred.
They were a good live act.
They were great. Benji Webb's amazing on stage. Then it was Trivium. Okay. And then it was Die Antwoord. And then we had Slipknot.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if you look at the day before, it literally went Blackberry Smoke, Clutch, Whitesnake / Def Leppard. There was a recurring pattern there. There really was. And then that day it literally went Skinned Trivium, Dianford, Slipknot. Day before that went day after that, sorry, went Amon Amarth, Lamb of God, Smashing Pumpkins, Tool.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that way, and if you would say right, pick the odd one out, it would have been Dianford.
Yeah, even Smashing Pumpkins are fine within that. I think.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people were kind of upset with that, but I think.
But you understand the jump of Smashing Pumpkins to Tool.
Oh yes, I don't really understand Dianford to Slipknot.
No,
I don't think anyone does, and I think it must have been really weird because I know there would have been some diehard Slipknot fans right in the front row, watching Dianford, and that makes me laugh.
Yeah, because I remember I actually left Dianford and went and saw a bit of Hailstorm before I came back to see Slipknot.
Yeah, that's true. I remember just watching them, going, "This is interesting.
It's different."
I do think Bring Me the Horizon are within a shadow of a doubt next year's headliners.
Well,
we're not big fans of it, but I think it's definitely true.
Next one I was going to say, as we spoke about earlier on, I can see it. I don't know if a lot of people will. I can see Motley Crue coming back, if not headlining, definitely playing very, very, very high up.
Yeah.
They're just coming back off of this reunion tour. Like you said, the contract that they signed, they literally blew it up. We're about to do an American Stadium tour with Def Leppard, Poison and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts as support.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rescheduled dates of that, it kicks off on the 19th of June, which is just after Download.
Right. So it could potentially work out.
Dates work out.
And Def Leppard are on that tour with them?
Yeah, they're main support.
Yeah.
But if you go back to Download 2019, they were the headliners.
On the Friday night.
Yeah.
And Controversial Opinion were absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, they were great.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had issues with that, but they were fantastic, bloody brilliant.
Yeah, they were great that night.
And they played All Hysteria, which is in my favourite Def Leppard album.
Yeah.
Just excellent.
Yeah.
Top notch. So that's kind of it. Or have you got more to say on that?
Well,
in terms of...
Not exactly on headliners, just Download itself, because we were there at 2019 and they changed a couple of things around, which made everyone's life, to put it politely, a living hell.
Yes, that's true.
They changed the layout of the actual campsite and the village, and it just absolutely destroyed things, to be honest.
You probably know more about that than me because you are a seasoned camper. I am very lucky and can stay at my pals who lives in the village down the road, but
you're missing out on the camping experience.
That's true, but I can go home and watch Traffic Cops and get drunk in a house.
Yeah. Prices have went up by £10 as well, but to be honest, no one's surprised at that.
I think it goes up every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, I was actually going to say to you about that, about rolling tickets over as well. A lot of people have done that.
Yep.
But it's the same with Bloodstock, and their VIP is already sold out for next year entirely.
We were talking about doing VIP, and
it's completely been sold out.
It can, and I think it's forgivable. I think a lot of things next year are going to be mega busy because they missed out on this.
Exactly.
This year. Not just metal festivals. I think Reading, Leeds, Glastonbury, all these things are going to be mega because they've missed out on this year.
Yeah.
And that's assuming that they're going ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to happen with this virus. We don't know if there's going to be a second spike. Who knows? I think music concerts are definitely going to be the last. I don't think we're going to see a concert before January.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I was meant to go see I Prevail in August or September time. That was the rescheduled date, but I personally can't see it happening.
No, definitely not. Yeah. No, I definitely don't see
I don't see any concerts
before Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't see any concerts being allowed to play in Scotland, even though we're actually doing quite well right now. We're Deftone our cases. Even then,
the schools are opening in August, and they're going back to normal. It's not going to be it might be some social distancing, but it's not going to be like full on. Because they had all these planned timetables. I know that they planned like 50-50 days and stuff, and like first years were going to be in at certain times. So they're going to be back to normal. So that might put us in the good light. But then opening places like that, things like pubs and restaurants, that could lead to a second spike. And I think, if I'm being honest, you want that now rather than Christmas time. Well,
the thing is, if we're still talking about social distancing, let's say it does get reduced to a metre.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're going to a concert when you've all got to stand at least a metre apart. The number of people that are going to be allowed in is going to be slashed like unbelievably.
Well, I read a rumour about Skindred doing a drive-in concert. I don't know if that's confirmed.
Yeah, apparently that is happening.
Well, there you go. drive-in concert.
Well, you're in the safety of your own car.
That's true. Mosh pits are going to be a bit frightening, though.
Right.
Imagine doing the Stockport helicopter in your car.
I believe it's a Newport helicopter.
Newport helicopter, I do apologise. Not a Skindred fan, as you can imagine. But
yeah, that was actually one of my favourite interviews with Benji, where they said he'd doing the Newport helicopter, and he's like, yeah, and he talked about the beginnings of it and how they were in this town and all this. And then he said, yeah, if you're in a room with a bunch of big, hairy men who are sweaty, it's called the Newport Smellicopter.
That's good. I did watch them do it live, like they live streamed it.
Yeah,
that was quite funny.
We saw them do it at Download 2019, but obviously, as you know, the weather was horrible.
Oh yeah.
So
I still watched it.
When he said everyone take off a bit of clothing, we all took off our rain jackets and our ponchos. So basically, when we all done the Newport helicopter, we turned into a sprinkler system.
There you go.
Yeah,
brilliant. But yeah, so the layout. I must say the access for the day tickets, the walk wasn't as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember going in and thinking the queues were a lot bigger, but I think that's because 2018 there wasn't as many people there as there was in 2019.
I don't believe so.
People there. But the queues were a lot worse in 2019. But I also felt that when the 2018 one, we had to walk a good mile and a half before you got to the entrance.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They moved the car park as well, because obviously we've drove down the last couple of years. In 2018, it wasn't even an hour for us to get from the car, get hand your ticket over, get your band, get in a campsite, get set up, get a tent set up. We had everything done inside an hour, and we done 2 trips, and we were quicker doing the 2 trips and sitting down than we were every other year just getting in the front door.
Right.
And then we thought that 2019 they'd replicate the same plan, and obviously they had to move things about because I believe they were getting complaints from the airport next door.
Yeah.
And we went, oh, it won't be as bad, and it was easily the worst of every year so far.
And the rain and the mud wouldn't have helped.
Yes, on that year, if you camped at the bottom of the hill that year, I really feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you basically lived in a sewer.
Yes.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully they fix that for next year. Hopefully we get better weather.
Yeah, hopefully.
My pal that lives down there was saying that actually on the Saturday it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, because that would have been Iron Maiden.
I'm going to check the weather for Bloodstock when it was meant to be happening on those days, just to have a look.
Yeah. I don't even care about the sunstroke, I'd take it.
Yeah. Well, the weather was really nice last week when Guns N' Roses were meant to be playing
in Glasgow?
Mm-hmm. It was very, very hot.
Yeah. I don't think you are, but I'm definitely not a massive Guns N' Roses fan, but I know a lot of people that are, and I think that would have made their day 100%.
Well, at the same time, yeah, it'd be nice to see them in the sun, but also it was too hot, if you get me. Like, we probably would have been dead. Like, if you had any alcohol in you, you'd have sweated out and drank 6 pints of water just to try and stay alive.
Remember Parkway Drive download 2018?
Yes.
It was roasting.
Yes, I remember, because I'm pretty sure Baby Metal were playing that day as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like someone actually had a red hot poker on one side of my face because that's where the sun was.
Yeah, and then you had Winston with his pyrotechnics on the other side.
Yeah.
Burning your other face.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent. So that is our speculation for Bloodstock and Download 2020. I know you wanted to talk about something else though.
Yeah, I was going to talk about, it's been said every year for as long as I've been going to festivals, holding a heavy metal festival in Scotland. So
we do have very minor ones now and then, but not much.
Well, the last time somebody took a big crack at it would have been 2017 when they tried Heavy Scotland, which was held in the Corn Exchange.
Yep.
So first year it was done, Corn Exchange, Edinburgh. It was held on the 1st and the 2nd of, I want to say, April. So let me double check that fact. But the headliners were Behemoth and Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
And apparently it went down very, very well.
But that would have been...
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
Unfortunately, we never actually made it to that.
No. It was the 1st and 2nd of April, 2017. But here's where the thing, it goes a bit weird for me. So they planned the second one for 2018, obviously.
Yeah.
They tried to have it over 3 days instead of 2, so it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the first one was on the 1st and 2nd of April. The second one was going to be the 31st of August till the 2nd of September.
Right.
So they actually moved it like to the other side of the summer holidays. And first year was Behemoth and Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
Second year it was going to be Children of Bodom, Carcass and Ensiferum.
Right.
So There's a couple of things wrong with that to me, honestly. The headliners were not as big. They were not in my opinion. But also,
it is a bit of a step back.
The 31st of August till 2nd of September,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have like people with kids at school and all that as well. And in fact, it's in the Edinburgh City Centre practically.
They never even. I don't think they never even got close before they cancelled it. Though, is that right?
Apparently, one of their investors said that it wasn't worth it, and then they were trying to obtain sponsorship, but that couldn't happen at all either. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did say it was cancelled due to financial issues.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We could speculate on the ins and outs of what the finances were, but we really don't know what the circumstances were. Need to give a big shout out to Jeff from Hotter Than Hell Tattoo, because he did my tattoo that year, Eddie, and he was talking about it because he was apparently one of the sponsors for it. I know that he was diehard to the end.
Yeah,
because it was actually him that let me know that it wasn't going ahead, but it was him that kind of talked me into going to it that year.
Yeah.
And it was just unfortunate because it would have been great to have a Scottish metal festival. That I do have some criticisms of it in the sense that we are such a small country.
Yeah.
So it's it makes sense to kind of pair us up with England and Wales. And have it as one country. I know that we have our political differences, but also in terms of having like a festival, we've got such a small population.
Yeah.
Because you think about states in America.
Yeah.
We're the equivalent size to like a large state in America, population wise.
Yeah.
And it, the reason they get so many festivals is because they've got such a gigantic populace.
Yeah, I do get that, obviously.
And really, if we think about it, a 5-hour drive to download is nothing.
Yeah.
Compared to drives in even parts of Europe where they drive hours to go to festivals, and a lot of bands will see it like that. I think that's kind of the reason why we don't get a lot of bands coming up here as much, because Manchester's really only 3 hours away, so you can maybe get away with that. People that live in Aberdeen come down to Glasgow all the time to see gigs, and they do it in a night.
Yeah. Well, that was my thoughts about if it ever was to be held, would it be held in Glasgow instead of Edinburgh?
Right, okay.
Yeah. Obviously, the usual one, would it be indoors or outdoors? Because Bloodstock started off indoors.
Right, okay.
And before, obviously, it gained a bit of traction and got it.
Yeah.
Issue with having something outdoors in Scotland is obviously weather.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem where if someone says Scotland, you just think of rain.
Yes, that's true.
If you look at the window right now,
it's raining.
Yes.
Yep.
So we'd have to have it indoors. I had a look about seeing sizes of places and stuff like that, like capacity of venues. King Tut's has a capacity of about 300 people. All the way up to the Hydro, which has got 14,300 apparently.
Yeah, I don't see the Hydro playing on a festival.
Well, here's the thing that I noticed and actually thought could be a smart idea. The SWG3 is between 125 to 5,000 people.
Wow. Okay.
And it also has separate stages in it.
Okay.
It's also just outside the city centre, which means there's not as much.
And it's not far from the Hydro either.
Yeah.
It's not far from. There's a good rail link there.
Yeah, there's a couple of railway stations just about.
And even then, worst case scenario,
you can walk it easily.
Nothing. Yeah.
So that was actually what I was thinking. Like, obviously, I'm not saying we try and book a metal festival, but the SWG3, especially since obviously what happened to the O2 ABC with the fire, it's been quite a popular venue. The fact it's got more than one stage, it's a very, very big area. It's a huge area, and it's easy enough to travel to without causing disruption in the city centre of Glasgow.
Yeah. I think that's a relatively good shout. The problem is the metal scene in Glasgow is not bad, but the metal scene across the country is very minuscule. And it's great finding people that are into it, but we are definitely in the minority there.
Yeah.
And you'd need to essentially prove it.
Yeah.
To a lot of people that were backing it, and I think things like Heavy Scotland, which was a great attempt, and if you were there, you were lucky, because it must have been some night, some couple of nights anyway. They'll look at that and they'll just see that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Which
sadly
is unfortunate, and you can't guarantee the weather.
No.
Look at Green Day. I always talk about Green Day. That was 2017. I'm not a huge fan, but my girlfriend is really into Green Day, and we got tickets to go see them. And on the train on the way in, they cancel it, and it was nothing to do with that. It was just to do with the way it was poorly organised.
Yeah,
it was nothing to do with the band. They were gutted. because it was outdoors, and they said it was because of the rain, and the stage wasn't suitable for the rain. The rain wasn't that bad. It was more like extreme drizzle. But
the same thing happened at Woodstock as well in 2019, I think it was.
Wind.
They actually had to close off the arena because they actually thought the wind was going to blow the stage over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Will we see a Scottish Metal Festival, do you think, at some stage?
I'd like to hope so.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to hope so.
Even if it's a small one?
Yeah. I know there is small ones dotted about the place. But yeah, I'd like something at a little bit bigger scale, a little bit bigger bands.
Yeah.
Just something for us to do it. Obviously, you're saying the 5-hour drive isn't much. But it'd be nice to just do a 20-minute train journey just to see it.
And stay at home.
Yeah. Stay in your own bed.
Yeah, and just go to like pubs in Glasgow after gigs.
Yeah, because the walk back from Download Festival to the campsite, it's a long one at that time of night when all you can see is the person in front of you's back.
Yeah.
If it's bright enough at that point.
I'd love to be able to walk on concrete rather than
it's one of those things, isn't it?
Grass.
Not as much for you because you go back to someone's house, but see after you spend 5 days in a campsite. If let's say you jump in your car, you're driving away and you make your first pit stop at a service to get something to eat, and you've kicked the wellies or covered the mud off, put your trainers back on, and you actually walk on concrete, and your feet are almost like they're numb to it. Like, what is this?
I don't know. It's crazy.
It's a peculiar experience, but
it is.
It's worth it.
I think it definitely is. Brilliant. So that's really it. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I think we've covered everything that we really wanted to discuss today.
Good, excellent. If you made it to the end, great. Thank you for listening to us. If you like our stuff, make sure you give us a subscribe as well. Make sure you give some towards Damage Reviews as well. They're quite heavily active on Instagram. Shaky at the moment, but I'll tag them in as much as you can. I'll put the links in the description. Make sure you share the love to those guys as well. If you have anything that you disagree with or anything that you want voiced, you can comment on this. You can also find us on Facebook and on Instagram, and you can dispute with us there. But that's it for now, and we'll hopefully catch you in the next one. See you later.